Hey, listener, you know that it comes for everybody at some point, right? Whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, who knows? Who knows when? But you know what I'm talking about. Those dreaded T levels start dropping. Maybe you don't feel as strong as you used to physically. Maybe your workouts, you're not recovering the same way that you used to, right? Maybe you don't have the energy or the focus that you used to get things done. Like you were out there, you were chopping wood and you were arm wrestling people and you were sending emails and filling out Excel sheets and your energy was there. You could do anything. You could pick up a mountain. Well, thankfully, you don't have to battle those low T levels anymore because we got Mars Men. It's not like drinking a cup of coffee where you get a little boost of caffeine and all right, I'm good for like an hour or two, but then I got to keep drinking coffee to keep these levels up. Now I'm all jittery and I can't focus. It's not like that. It's a steadier sense of drive throughout the day. You'll be feeling better in 2026 than you have in the past couple of years. Mars Men supports healthy T levels, energy, and stamina. It's got 8 natural, clinically dosed ingredients. It's made in the USA, and it's third-party tested. There's a 90-day money-back guarantee, so there's no risk. Over 91% of users report higher energy levels. Thousands of guys are feeling incredible results. Just check out the reviews on the website to see for yourself. For a limited time, our listeners get 50% off for life, plus free shipping and 3 free gifts at mengotomars.com. It's a perfect way to kick off the new year strong. That's mengotomars.com for 50% off and 3 free gifts at checkout. After your purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Support the show, please, and tell them our show sent you.
Carvana's so easy, just a click, and we've got ourselves a car. See?
So many cars. That's a click-tastic inventory.
And check out the financing options. Payments to fit our budget. I mean, that's...
Clickonomics 101.
Delivery to our door?
Just a hop, skip, and a click away.
And bought.
No better feeling than when everything just clicks. Buy your car today on Carvana. Delivery fees may apply.
Yay! Yay! Gail, I saw you a couple weeks ago. I toured the Top Chef's kitchen set, and I wanted to come run up and say hello, but it was like a 30-second break that I had to jump in and jump out, and I saw Kristen. I was touring the pantry. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry I didn't say hello.
Don't be sorry. I saw you from afar. We knew you were there. And we were happy to have you. If only we had had more time to chill, but we will again.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we are here in your town and you've been able to come and check it out. Was that your first time in the Top Chef kitchen?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Funny. I don't know. I just kind of assume you visited us in other cities before, but it's fun. Did you like it?
Yeah. It's huge, Gail.
It's huge. Yeah. Well, the warehouse is huge. Like our entire footprint is huge. I mean, the kitchen is also huge if you have to cook in it, which makes you understand why the chefs are always racing around like maniacs.
Yeah. Becca was giving me a wonderful tour. We're going around and we're seeing the whole warehouse. It's mind-boggling how many people work under that roof to make everything work. I think there was over 100 people there.
There's 170 people, 150, 170 people working on Top Chef at any given moment when we're in production. It's extraordinary. Well, what's amazing that most people don't know is, of course, there's like the cast and the producers and the camera operators and the audio and all the stuff that people think about when you think about making a TV show. But what we also have is like our design and art department, that have their own like wood shop, and our culinary team that has its own completely separate, massive kitchen, pantry, and, plates and setup of their own, which takes up, hundreds of square feet and then there's the talent, and then there's the production offices, and then there's Video Village for our director and her whole team. So there's just, enormous. It is a bit like a corporation. I mean, there's like so many different departments, and I take it for granted because we know everyone so well and we're sort of used to this system. But sometimes I also am taken aback when people remind me just how many hands it takes to make the show.
It reminded me of I haven't done a tour of SNL, but the fact that like there's a whole woodshed that you create sets for,
Yes.
like you have to build things on the fly. And
All
if
the
things
time.
don't work like half an hour before air, it's like, we got to go to the woodshed. And then there's a whole grocery store. There's like
Yes.
a giant
whole
grocery
grocery
store of stuff. And there's 30 hot sauces and 100 olive oils and plates galore.
Walk-ins and refrigeration and like, I know my favorite thing, that's my favorite place to hang out. I mean, no surprise. We all love hanging out in the production kitchen. We hang out a lot in obviously the Top Chef set kitchen, which is a functioning kitchen too, with a wood burning oven, as you've seen, and like a massive pantry. But I like going and hanging out with our culinary producers, Dave and Lauren, because I love like perusing their dairy walk-in and their, their dry pantry. I always find little gifts.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really eye-opening experience, and I encourage anyone who has an opportunity to go tour the Top Kitchen set. I mean, I think it's 70,000 square feet is the total.
You might know better than me. I mean, that sounds right. That sounds really big.
It's huge.
Yeah.
But one thing that right off the bat, I just want to say, Gail, is I'm nervous for my city. And you had this last season, is like, you really want to show out for Canada in a way that I feel like I want Charlotte to meet the moment and welcome Top Chef with open arms and show out. Like, it's a big opportunity for the city. The place that I've lived over the last 8 years and raised my two lovely daughters in this city. And it's a huge moment. And I wanted to ask you, like, now that you've done Top Chef Canada and you're able to go back to, your homeland in Canada and show the world and help tell that story, do you feel like you built it up in your head too much, that it's a responsibility on your shoulders? Do you feel like it meant?
No, I do think it's a responsibility. I was, it's very personal for me because I was like on camera showing it to everybody and also off camera showing it to everybody and also home, living in Toronto temporarily for the first time in 20 years plus, wanting to like hang out with all my high school friends, but also hang out with my crew and show them the city and make sure I saw enough of my parents who also thought that I should be living back at home while I was there. And I tried to explain that I'm a grown woman and I can't be living at home anymore. And I haven't, so there was like a lot of factors. And it did feel like a responsibility to the show to make sure that Toronto and Canada rose to the challenge. Yes. But I will say a couple things. One, just to qualify, the season was called Top Chef Destination Canada. Canada is like the second biggest country in the world, right?
Yeah.
We did not show everybody all of Canada. Canada is a giant swath of land on this planet. We showed them a lot of Toronto, a little of Calgary, a pinch of Montreal, and a pinch of PEI. And that is pretty good, all things considered, but by no means could we be inclusive. So then coming back to the States for a season, and I think we did a really good job, by the way, of packing in as much as we could to just make people understand a little more about the culture, the cuisine, the people, the geography, and
I'll never forget about Calgary. That blew my mind. Just what a wonderful experience that was. One of my favorite episodes in the mountains there.
That was
Top Chef history.
Breathtaking for all of us. It was like a day we'll never forget. I'll tell you a funny thing about that episode in a minute that happened behind the scenes. But you can't put so much pressure on yourself. My point is to be everything. You just won't be. We're not going to show everything. We can't possibly. And here, we're in the Carolinas, which also is 2 large states. And we can't possibly be inclusive of every corner of both states. And really, it's a little bit misleading because we're really in Charlotte and the surrounding area. And then we're in Greenville and South Carolina and the surrounding area. And so we're going to do our best to include everything from those 2 places. But by no means do you have to feel like Charlotte, we have to cover every inch or that you want to show us every inch because it's just not possible. I mean, Charlotte is a large city that contains multitudes, right? As they say. So we're going to show as much as we can, and we're having a blast. But, you can only do what you can do.
Yeah.
So don't feel too much pressure.
Okay. I'm not even on the show. I don't know why I feel this. I just want, I don't know.
It's personal because it's a city that, you live in, obviously, and you take pride in. And I think I appreciate that. I feel like every city we go to, especially in the last several years, the fans really, really care. And we take that seriously too. We want to represent them. Like, we don't go to a place to tear it down. We only go to a city to build it up.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point, right? To expand what people know about a place and its foodways and its people and its population and its, its immigrant pathways and its indigenous communities. And so that's the whole point, right? Is to show people new parts or corners, regions of the country, of the world, through the lens of food. And this corner of the Carolinas we've never shown before. And so we're learning a lot along the way, which is my favorite part of the job because there's so much to learn all the time.
You're a journalist at heart. You want to learn. You want to educate. You want to get to
every corner of the world has its own niche ingredients, people, pathways, that make it what it is and are the reason that people in that part of the world eat the way they eat and farm the way they farm. And so it's fascinating. And I think Charlotte and the people of Charlotte have been so welcoming and so much fun and so enthusiastic. We're pretty excited to show everybody all the things that we've discovered here.
Oh, I can't wait. Before we move on, I want to hear the Calgary story.
Oh, just that day up on the mountain in Calgary. It was our second episode there, and we shot this foraging episode that was really beautiful and really emotional for our chefs. We were down to 5 chefs, and it was right before our finale in Milan. So it was a very important episode, and it was in this beautiful kind of piece of land overlooking streams and valleys up in, close to the Rocky Mountains and about an hour outside of Calgary in, now I'm forgetting this town that it was nearest to. But anyway, it was this time of year. It was October, end of September, beginning of October. And the weather was beautiful, but there were tons of bees. And I think at least 5 of us on set that day got stung by bees. I was coming out of the little cabin that we were using to get dressed and changed to go on set. And I had a sweater on. I was wearing a sweater that day with sort of a large sort of turtleneck. And I walked out and a bee flew into it and got caught in my turtleneck. And right when I was about to go on camera and just stung me in the neck. This is crazy. I mean, your neck is very sensitive skin. There's not a lot of fat there. It's
it swells up and you're and it's right by your throat. And it's
it was kind of horrifying, but I was totally fine. But I literally walked on camera, with a bee sting in my neck. Thank God I was wearing, a sort of turtleneck to cover it up. And then while we were standing there talking to the chefs at judges table, Bailey got stung, I believe, in her thigh. I mean, everyone was the bees were aggressive, or the wasps. They did not want us on that mountain.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
well, there's a history of hornets in Charlotte, but not the reason why people think is that the reason why Charlotte Hornets are the Charlotte Hornets. Do you know this story?
No.
The reason why the Charlotte Hornets are the Charlotte Hornets is because General Cornwallis in the Revolutionary War for the British Army at the Battle of Charlotte in the Revolutionary War in 1780, there was this stand of this fierce battle of, the Americans at Charlotte. And he wrote back to all of his people after trying to face the Charlotte battalion and was like, don't go down there. It's like stepping on a hornet's nest. And so
that is a great piece of Charlotte history.
There you go. So people are oh, the bees in Charlotte are probably it's the Charlotte Hornets. And I'm actually, no, Hornets, it's right. It's an old tale of
fiercely protective people.
That's right.
Love that.
And
I will be using that story, by the way.
Yeah. Well, I know you're still shooting. So maybe you can slip this in at some point about hornets, or maybe a honey challenge. I don't know. Do hornets even make honey? I don't think they do.
I don't think so. I think just the bees.
Yeah. Just the bees.
I don't know the purpose of a hornet. Honestly, I hate a hornet. I'm not interested in a hornet.
Yeah.
Especially now.
And they got you, or a wasp.
No, well, I don't know the difference between a hornet and a wasp. They both sound terrible.
Yeah.
So they're not my favorites. You know what else there is in Charlotte, by the way, a lot of, or in this area in general? Big snakes. I've also seen a lot of big snakes. One of them was on set with us yesterday.
I'm sorry.
I have footage to be released shortly.
Was it a rat snake, a black snake? Gardener snake?
Black snake, a rat snake. I think it was a rat snake.
Yeah, there are a lot of them.
Why is it called a rat snake? That's just the two worst things ever.
Right. Let's combine the two, like
a hornet rat snake. If it was called a hornet rat snake, it would be the absolute worst.
Yeah, I'm with you. And if you're not familiar with the South, there's a lot of, what do we call them? Palmetto bugs, cockroaches here too.
Oh yes, no, we've seen those. But we also have those in New York.
Yeah, that's a good point. But hey, I'm glad you mentioned this, that Charlotte is very different than Charleston, and very different than Asheville, then very different than Raleigh, and very different than Lexington, North Carolina.
Absolutely.
And very different than Greenville. So it's very hard to hit all of that. It's not a low country southern town, but it also has a lot of southern roots, of course, being in Charlotte. But it's a very new city. Like the Hornets, the aforementioned Hornets came here in 1988. Like, but by example, like Toronto, the Maple Leafs have been around for 100 years. The Montreal Expos came, I think,
for 100 years. It breaks my heart. Sorry, the Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Like, it's a new city, and so
it is, and a young city.
The joke is no one in Charlotte is from Charlotte. And so it's very hard to find. It's like 5% of people here in Charlotte are actually born here and raised here. And so you get a lot of people from different cultures coming here in a transient city where it's like, we're starting a new life and we're going to move from Brooklyn to Charlotte because, hey, it's a great place to raise a family. Hence why I came here from Miami.
I can see that.
And it's wonderful weather, except for today, Gail.
It's a little gloomy today, and yesterday was like intensely humid. But I have to say, people kept saying to us as we departed for Charlotte, we came down in August, and now it's almost October, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's going to be 1,000 degrees every day, and we're going to be scorching and sweating the whole time we're here." But I have to say, overall, the weather's been incredible.
Yeah.
It's been sunny and 77 degrees every day with not a lot of humidity. So I'm all for it. We haven't had a problem with the weather. It's fine.
So the Queen City is treating you well? Queen City?
We're having a great time. It takes a little bit to find our rhythm in terms of our own personal rhythms here, like finding our comfort zone, our routines, because we're hunkered down for a substantial amount of time, about 7-8 weeks. Our crew and producers are here for 3 months plus. So it's been great to discover as well. Full disclosure, I had never been to Charlotte until I came here in August. I've been to the airport. I've spent a lot of time in Charleston on the coast. I've spent I've spent some time in Raleigh, but I really didn't know that much about Charlotte until I arrived here to shoot the season. And that's what I love the most about my job, is that happens all the time. I would probably say like a rough estimate of 60 to 70% of the places where we have shot Top Chef, I'd never been before until we went to shoot there.
You must geek out once you find out what city you're going to.
Best.
Yeah.
You get to do a deep dive, do tons of research, discover the city, meet so many great people, chefs. We always find a connection to the city. I always know at least one person, in every place, generally in the chef community, who takes us under their wing. I always say we always have like a chef guru in every season, pretty much, especially in the cities that are the smaller places where we might not know a lot of people, like Milwaukee or
Charleston, Charlotte. These are all Denver.
Houston, right. The places where we aren't as familiar. There's always at least this one sort of guru chef who takes us under their wing and really helps us navigate the city. And this is, Charlotte's been no exception. Shout out to Joe Kindred.
Oh, shout out to
really
Joe.
Helpful.
So Joe Kindred and his wife, Katie, are phenomenal stewards of Charlotte. Great representation of Charlotte. And they run Kindred up in Davidson, which is a little bit up on the interstate. But it's, for a while, it was my favorite restaurant in town. And then like or in Charlotte area. And then as Charlotte started growing up over the last 8 years, it's a lot of competition, but the milk bread is just down the street here from my place. And
where my coffee was from this morning.
Oh, yeah. It's a great spot there. An old Dairy Queen that they restored, and it's right there on the corner. Location. And as you can see, there's a lot of development in that area. I think Uchi's coming into town across the street, so we're going to get some really good sushi here in the neighborhood.
Nice.
But the Kindreds are wonderful. The Moffats, the Colliers. It's a great.
Oh yeah, we've worked with the Colliers too. This is what we find everywhere. This is not a surprise to us that the chef community in a city like Charlotte, a mid-sized city, is tight and supportive of each other. I'm not saying it's perfect. Restaurants are super hard to maintain no matter what city you're in. But the chef community in Charlotte has been, and all over the state. We spent a little time with a bunch of the chefs from Asheville recently talking about hurricane relief there, and the same goes for them. And in general, it's just amazing to see how the chef community here has supported us, but also they support each other. And, you mentioned that healthy competition, that when Joe might have opened his first restaurant, there wasn't a ton to compete with, which is probably why he did it, and smart for him. But now there is, but that hasn't deterred him. If anything, it forces you to check your game, raise your standard, level up, and broaden the community and be more welcoming. And because, a rising tide lifts all ships.
This episode is brought to you by Redfin. You're listening to a podcast, which means you're probably multitasking. Maybe even scrolling home listings on Redfin, saving homes without expecting to get them. But Redfin isn't just built for endless browsing. It's built to help you find and own a home. With agents who close twice as many deals, when you find the one, you've got a real shot at getting it. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
Can I say I've read some of the spots that you've already hit, and they're pretty much my list.
Okay, good.
Custom Shop, when I said Kindred was my favorite, and then Custom Shop is in competition, that's our favorite restaurant in the area. We walk there, we have drinks, my wife and I, that's our date night spot.
I went on a date night with my husband there, and it was perfect. It's it's that neighborhood restaurant that is a step better than you necessarily think. Not that you don't think it's going to be great, but its standards are super high, and it's better than it needs to be, let's say. But it makes it also attract people from outside the neighborhood, and we had this perfect, lovely date night there too.
I'm so glad to hear it, because Chef Andres and Matt, they've done a great job. But the people there, the staff, Zoe and Kyle, it's rare in this day and age, Gail. You go to more restaurants than I do around the country and travel and all that. It's rare to have the same staff every time you go. Mm-hmm. And because of all the turnover, and the restaurant business is so, fluid, and, just people are leaving for different jobs, of course. Yeah. But when you walk into a restaurant and they remember your order, or they remember your favorite cocktail or whatever it is, it hits you in a special place. And so I think, yes, Instagram has been wonderful for restaurants in terms of publicity. I think there's this other thing that Instagram can't do, which is person to person. Yeah, I love going there because the people there the service is fantastic too.
It is rare, and it says a lot actually about the management when they can keep staff around that long and support them, and they like working there, and they are, invested in the community. So
yeah, and you've been here in Charlotte for a bit, but you also went to the Emmys, and I don't know what it's. I've never been to an award show like that. But is there someone, I've been dying to know, is there someone that you were surprised was a Top Chef fan, going out on the red carpet or going to an after party, and a celebrity or someone where they're Gail, I'm obsessed with Top Chef. I love you, Gail, you and Tom and Kristen. I've found in the NBA when I meet people, they'll be Tom, you do great coverage on the NBA, but pack your knives. I love Top Chef. And I'll be like, wait, you love Top Chef? Like, I love Top Chef.
Yeah.
And I just wonder if there's anyone in like the Hollywood or that you were
There's
like.
a lot. I mean, it's not something that surprise. Yeah, it's surprising. It always catches you a little bit. Tons of people. I mean, I say this with the most
Humility. Yes.
humility. We've been lucky enough to go to the Emmys for 17 years in a row. Be nominated, or
Wow.
18 years of the 20 years that we've been on the air. And it never gets old. And every year, Tom and I joke that like The Sopranos and Mad Men and Game of Thrones and, all these like the greatest shows on television have come and gone. And me and Tom are still hanging out on that red carpet. It's like we're like we snuck in and people just haven't noticed that we're still there. You know what I mean? And I say it jokingly, but truthfully, it is a great privilege. And I'm always amazed at the people who come up to us and, we still, for the conversation you and I just had about how big our show actually is when you're on our set, seeing the build out, we still in our heads think of us as like the little reality show that could. And so when people whose work we admire, tell us that they admire our show, there's no greater
It's so cool.
flattery. Really, I don't know. This year, who did I see that I was really excited about and who I know are fans? Like some of the cast of Severance and The Bear. I mean, The Bear we have a connection to, obviously, because of the topic, right?
Yeah.
And Maddie's been on our show. Maddie's a fellow Torontonian, but it's always nice to sort of talk to them and sort of compare notes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, the cast of SNL has always been super supportive of us, I have to say. A little bit in the NBC family, but Bowen Yang has been a huge supporter of Top Chef. And so it was great to see him. And he's just crushing life right now.
So Bowen's a top. Has Bowen been on the show? I don't know if I'm revealing anything.
I've been begging them to get him on the show. It's just scheduling. But
we got to get Bowen on.
He and Matt Rogers, his podcast partner, did that crazy Bravo Awards show recently for La Culturistas, and we were nominated in the category of Best Vibes. And I was just like, that is the best possible category to be nominated in.
Right.
Top Chef, our Destination Canada season, was just nominated for Best Vibes. No qualification of what that meant, just Best Vibes.
Right. That's kind of like an open book. You can fill in the blank on whatever that means. But it's the award that everyone wants. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the award everyone wants. And the fact that you guys have been doing this for so long, you can still have your fastball and want to hang out with you guys. And just like, it's just like anything else where I've wanted to ask you, Gail, because LeBron, all right, I'm going to make you LeBron here. Okay. LeBron's been doing this for 20 years.
Don't
all
see
right?
the parallels, but that's okay.
Yeah. You're basically the LeBron of food TV.
I'm going to take it. I'm totally going to take it.
He's been doing this for 20 years. Do you, after every off season, quote unquote, are there things that you try to like sharpen or like things you want to add to your toolkit of like when you're on air, you're going to be able just a little bit better at this when you're at judges table, or you want to eat more of this cuisine to just be a little sharper here. Do you do that at all? Like trying to get better as a critic?
That is such a great question. I've never been asked that question, Tom. Thank you. But I talk about it and think about it personally. I talk about it with my husband a lot. I talk about it with Doneen, our showrunner of many years, who is really our North Star on the show for a lot of reasons. She started as a PA on our show, season 1, episode 1, and she is now running our entire operation. And she's an incredible force. And she is like the archivist of our show. And a conversation we're always having is, how do you talk about food to an audience that can't taste the food, right? That's the conundrum of any food show that I get asked by journalists all the time. Like, why do people care so much? They can't taste the food. So what connects Top Chef to its audience? And how do you make sure that experience feels satisfying? And I do feel it's a big responsibility that Tom and Kristen and myself take on, because we are truthfully like the taste buds of our audience. And if we can't impart the taste of the food we're eating, how can we how can our audience trust us, right? To be making the right decisions, because they're invested in the people and we're invested in the flavors, but they don't know the flavors, right? It's this tension between us. So a conversation I always have about sharpening my own skills is I need more words, right? You run out of words to describe it. There's only so many things that you can say about a dish and articulate that truly explains that dish to someone. And Donine is always reminding us, like, there are words that we all default to that don't mean anything. They don't explain anything. For example, I can say that a dish is amazing. And this goes for writing too. I had the same conundrum in my food writing. And, for 25 years of being a food journalist, it's the same conundrum that you can use superlatives, but they don't give you any insight into what the dish tastes like. It just means you like it. So how do you explain food and impart more clearly, more articulately to your audience exactly what you mean when you are describing a dish so that they too can understand the experience? And that's a constant dig and a constant, riddle that we are trying to unlock is better words, more definition, more clarity, more specificity. So, Donine and I are always talking about, I understand it's delicious, but is it salty? Is it spicy? Is it balanced? Is it sweet? Is it herbaceous? Using words that evoke actual connection to flavor. It's hard.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I love Top Chef. I love writing. Like, that's my job. I feel like I have a pretty good vocabulary, not great. But when I was asked to do any sort of like food review of a dish, I just keep calling it delicious.
Everybody uses delicious, and that's great. That tells us that you like it and that it is good, but what does it taste like?
Yeah. Give me a descriptor. Why? And that is so funny you mentioned that, because I remember watching back some of my reviews and I kept repeating that word, delicious. And I think probably the nerves of it or whatever it is, but I realized I need to get better at describing the dish, why it was delicious. Was it crunch, like texture wise?
Yes, all the dimensions. It's very hard to do. And that is, I think, our responsibility as food journalists. Like, that's the job, but also on Top Chef in particular, not only are we trying to describe it to our chefs so that they understand our criticism, but so that the audience understands the decisions we make, and also so that they can experience it along with us, right? Otherwise, we always say, until there's smell-o-vision and taste-o-vision, our mouths are all they've got. And we want them to trust us and feel like we're making fair, honest decisions based on what we experienced.
All right. So Charlotte is a city that is kind of searching for its signature dish, a delicious dish, but something that is very iconic to the area. And as someone who, when I think of Canadian food last season, Destination Canada, I was like, oh, they're going to have a poutine challenge or what have you.
We had no choice but to incorporate poutine and maple syrup, but almost in the most cliched way. Like the Canadian Tourism Board, when we were having conversations with them about like what matters and what it means to what is Canadian food, those are not like, and as a Canadian, we're like, everyone knows those things, right? That's the low hanging fruit. So yes, we start there to get everyone in because that's what people understand. But then we really tried to like go a little deeper, right?
Right. We don't really have that in Charlotte. Okay. So we're still searching, like fish sandwiches, or fried chicken. You went to Ashley Shanty's,
love her, obsessed with her.
Good hot fish over there in Asheville. It's not technically Charlotte, but it's 2 hours away, right? We could have that as like the foodways, the seafood. We have to figure out something that is not unique. Like you can have dishes that you can eat anywhere else, but
right. It's that Charlotte does the best. No, so here's my hot take. I don't know if you're going to like it. As an outsider coming to Charlotte, the themes that I'm seeing, the seafood thing, I don't think should be your thing.
No.
I'm not saying it's not done well here, but we are a landlocked city.
Very much so.
You know
Lake
I mean?
Norman ain't producing any salmon out here.
Yeah. I mean, there's some good lake fishing for sure. And there is great lake fish all over this region in like Western North Carolina. And there are a lot of native ingredients that you actually don't see anywhere else, which I think are really fascinating, as well as the conversation about Appalachian food, which, I've had with Ashley Shanti often. And, really going up into that area of the mountains really comes through. But my just like hot take of what I'm seeing that everyone in Charlotte does, but does really well at all levels, is really the fried chicken sando and like chicken tenders. I know it's so easy, but I'm kind of like, wow, they really love their chicken tenders in Charlotte. But I'm also not talking just about like the ubiquitous chains that are making the chicken tenders that will go unnamed at the moment. At all levels. I mean, like Joe Kindred's making a great chicken tender at Milk Bread. Clearly there's a real demand for an excellent chicken tender in this town. I'm a wing girl, to be fair, but all of a sudden here I am craving chicken tenders every place I go in Charlotte. And they're sort of being creative with them, but there's also some amazing fried chicken and fried chicken sandwiches. And you can own that. If we can own poutine, you can own the fried chicken
tendies. Look, Charlotte tendies.
Tendies. Bring on
Let's go with the tendies. You know what? Goodyear House in Charlotte.
I've been.
Has
such a cool spot.
Oh yeah.
Love that backyard. Brought my kids.
When Kevin came to Charlotte, I had to take him there because he's in LA. And so it's just beautiful weather and beautiful scenery everywhere. And I just wanted to show him somewhere where like the outdoor backyard with the giant trees everywhere. And you're just like, you're tucked away in this little oasis. And you're like, whoa, how did this, like there's this in Noda, shout out to Goodyear House in Noda. You would never expect that scene back there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Gail, you have kids, so you understand what I'm about to say here. There are some places that the kids menu, they've got some things on that kids menu that I am watching my daughters eat like a hawk because I want to get some of that too.
Any scraps that you can get.
Yeah, the mom tax, the dad tax. I'm like watching her eat these chicken tendies at Goodyear House because they're so good. And they've got this mac and cheese, cashew mac and cheese there that's amazing. And so like you're right. We've got some good tendies in town.
You know what? Like there's also always these movements, these trends, right? Of comfort foods, lowbrow foods, but then people who elevate them and like make them better so that they are at all levels. And we've seen that with the mac and cheese, and we've seen it with like the smash burger and the everything, and I feel like take back the ownership of the tendy. I put it out there. Let's see what happens. There's
a couple candidates here, of course, barbecue, but as you've probably found out in your research, the best barbecue's just outside of the city. You're going to get some. Also, we have learned a lot about Carolina barbecue since I've been here, and I'm so excited about it. I knew theoretically, but we spent a lot of time, obviously, in our research of Western versus Eastern, North Carolina barbecue, South Carolina barbecue versus Eastern and Western North Carolina barbecue. Yep.
So
whole hog versus just the pork shoulder, mustard sauce versus vinegar-based sauce.
Vinegar versus mustard, the sweet tomato base with the tomato-based slaw versus the mayo slaw. So I'm in. And that obviously is a big deal and a big piece of the food culture here for sure. What's your favorite barbecue in Charlotte? Or just around? Not too far away.
So John G's, Sweet Lou's, Midwood. There's a lot of good spots. But like, go to Lexington Barbecue. Monks, as they call it, the locals call it. You go there and you get a chop pulled pork, and it's divine.
Yeah, it's great.
And it's Charlotte being a new city, it's hard to find places. And I'm from New England. So like, it's hard for me to see a restaurant that opened in 1970 and you're like, that's a baby compared to the places that I grew up with. Right. But Lexington, and you get out into kind of the farm area, you're going to get some older places that make it feel like it's been here for generations. And you see old people there, you know, and you're just like, oh, this touches me in a way that's different than, you know, Charlotte. You get the hottest restaurant in Nashville is going to open up a place in Charlotte. The hottest restaurant in Atlanta and in Austin and in LA, they're going to open up something in Charlotte because it's such a growing young city. Yeah. But you also kind of want a place where you can just get lost in like an old family restaurant, you know?
There's a couple of cool spots I'm curious your take on here, like old diner style classic places that people keep telling me about that I haven't had a chance to go to. I mean, we're talking like down home, right? The Diamond.
Yeah. Right around the corner. Yep.
Right around the corner.
Yep. Great spot.
Okay, I gotta go for breakfast. And also Clark's Snack Bar.
I was just going to tell you, you got to go to Clark's. Okay, especially if you're a Deadhead. If you like the Grateful Dead.
I was in my youth.
Perfect.
I make myself sound 100 years old, but you know, I had some Deadhead days. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we all had Deadhead days in our lives. My co-host this year, Sarah Bradley, famously on Top Chef, talking about, you know, she would sneak away after school and couldn't believe that was aired on Bravo. But she was like, yeah, we all have our Deadhead. I was Dave Matthews.
So is the people from Clark's are Deadheads. What's the connection there?
I don't know, but like the art on the walls is a bunch of Grateful Dead iconography. Is that the right word?
Cool. Okay.
Yeah.
More incentive to check it out.
The kimchi hot dog there is dynamite. I just had it. And that's another thing. Charlotte has a lot of hot dog game in a way that's not going to compete with Chicago or other cities that have been around.
There's room in the universe for lots of hot dogs.
It's a great and Tristan.
Okay, that's a pro tip.
Tristan.
Yeah.
Tristan Epps went to Johnson and Wales here in Charlotte and is like a hot dog guru. And I don't think that's a coincidence. Okay. Gleazy hot dogs. It's this new hot dog with brisket hot dog that's based in Charlotte. Double smoked brisket hot dog. And it is outrageously good. So if you're at a Harris Teeter, go to Harris Teeter. They've got these Gleazy hot dogs. Go.
Oh, like you bring them home. It's a packaged hot dog, not a spot.
That's right. Get a double smoked brisket hot dog. They're exploding. It's really good. All my buddies are like, where can we get Gleazy dogs? And they're in all Harris Teeters now. So it's delicious. Clark's is awesome. Go to Menya. Have you been to Menya yet?
Went last night.
It's
so damn good. So I have a friend. In the culinary world who about a week before I came down here, I got a random text, hadn't heard from him in years. And he was like, if you are in Charlotte, you have to go visit my friend Vince Tien at Menya. He's making the best ramen. And we hadn't gotten around to it until last night. We finished work late and Tom, Kristen, and I were like, let's go for ramen. And we snuck in there and had such a delicious meal. So that was pretty great.
Yeah.
And we met Vince and he's cool.
Yeah, it's a great spot. And they've got this spicy tauntaun that is so...
We ate it.
Yeah.
It was almost like mala spice. Delicious. It was super good. Yeah, great spot.
Did you hear the story of the omakase restaurant in the back?
No, I didn't know there was an omakase restaurant in the back. What are you talking about?
It is like Naoi in Miami levels good. It is like this sushi joint that they opened in the back. It was a secret door.
It has nothing to do with the ramen shop? Or
it has nothing to do with the ramen shop, but the owners of Menya wanted to do an omakase restaurant, like 8 seats. And it's in the back. You would never see it. It's not marked. It's like a secret door.
I need to be taking, there's too many things I need to be making notes on. We're going to do a follow-up email exchange.
Okay. But here's the sad thing. You know how omakase works. So like the two classically trained Japanese sushi chefs, and they work, all night doing these amazing, just the most delicate, intimate meal. Mm-hmm. But one of the chefs had to leave, and then they had to shut down.
Oh,
Because it's Charlotte, there's not a deep pool
of talent that can cook that or do that.
You can just pull up off hey, we got 8 chefs who can step in right away and fulfill it. Everyone's heartbroken in Charlotte that loves this restaurant. It's called Capo N.
Yes. Yep. Okay. It's on my list and I know it's, okay. But it's so funny that I didn't realize it was in the back of Menya. And now I'm looking at the website and it says located in the back of Menya. That is so funny. I knew it shut down because it was on my list, but I didn't connect the two. It's really sad.
It is. And it part of the reason why it was so amazing is it just, you can't find that in Charlotte.
Right.
Like New York, Miami, San Francisco level, like sushi, Japanese. I mean, it's a traditional Japanese joint, but it was really hard to find. And so when it closed down, it was really upsetting, but we're hopeful that someone steps in and it reopens. That's another one. I had, Mama G's up in Beatty's Ford is a great West African restaurant. Go check that out. But you've got a great list, and I'm like, oh, she's got to go to Custom Shop and Kindred and Albertine's and Goodyear House. Beef and Bottle, if you want like an old steakhouse type experience, Southern Steakhouse, Beef and Bottle is really fun.
I do, and I will. I know about Beef and Bottle, but I haven't been yet.
Salud and Noda, also excellent. They are on the James Beard list for best beer shop / I guess a bar, but Salud and Noda is wonderful too. Great food, great wings. So
now you're speaking my language. Great
wings, Gail. So go check that out. Really cool local spot. Queen City is gonna meet its moment. I'm confident. I'm really excited. And Queen City, by the way, there's a rivalry with this city here, Cincinnati's Young Buck Deli with Brian Young and Caitlin from Kentucky season. Mm-hmm. They opened up this deli shop in Cincinnati that I went to a couple weeks ago, and it was
great.
Pardon my French, fucking amazing.
Oh,
okay,
I'm so glad.
And they have this focaccia bread that only goes out like as soon as they're done with the focaccia bread that they make every day. They close shop, so you got to go in early. I love that place, and it's great. But Queen City, Charlotte, we have a rivalry because of the Queen City. Mm-hmm. We're really excited about this season, and I'm so glad you've been able to experience.
I'm so glad
for the first time. That's so cool that you've never been here before.
We're having a great time in Charlotte. We really are. It's a lovely place, and everyone's been great, and we're finding so much to eat.
Yes,
and I think our chefs are actually having a great time too.
Oh, good.
We've done some really cool things for them, so I think it'll be really exciting when the show comes out.
It's we don't have a start date as of this recording, but I'm excited for people in 2026 to experience the Carolinas, not just Charlotte, but Greenville, mm-hmm. and Top Chef season 23. Gail, this is always great to catch up and talk.
Thank you so much for having me, Tom. It's always great to talk to you. We could chat for hours. I really appreciate all your guidance. Now I've got 10 more places to eat in the next 7 days.
Yes. Well, let's do it. I want to hear all the rest of the places that you hit, like literally all the places you're like, oh, I've been here, and literally Menya. Oh, I went last night. Yeah. So great.
No, we really do try to make a dent. Look, we're traveling. I'm in an Airbnb. It's beautiful, but it's not the greatest cooking facilities. There's like 2 pans and 1 spoon. So we're eating out. That's why we're here. We're not, So I'll have a lot to report back on.
Awesome. That's Gail Simmons. Go check out The Mouthful on Substack if you want a lot of great stuff. I'm a subscriber, big fan. A lot of kind of BTS, good stuff, recipes, experiences. Emmy, you took your daughter to the Emmys last year. There's some really cool stories from that. So go check out The Mouthful on Substack. Gail, always a pleasure catching up, and thanks so much for making time for us today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us on the set this season. That was really awesome.